Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of Never Hike Alone. It's a fan-made film. It's a horror, came out in 2017. It's not rated. It's 54 minutes, sorry. IMDb have 6.8. It's only on IMDb, so I'll give you that. A hiker's survival skills are put to the test when he stumbles upon the remains of an old abandoned camp and discovers its long dark secrets. It's also only available on YouTube. I've linked the video at the end so you can go and see it. So the director is Vincente DiSanti, who directed 13 Fanboy. Producers, well, there's 16 of them, but with producer on we have Matthew Barrett, who did Pledge, Daniel Evans, who did the short Sparrow, Kyle Klein, who did the short Unsaid. Music was by Ryan Perez-Daple, who did the music for Here to Climb, and Trevor Vaughan, Vaughn, who did the music for Never Hike Alone, the Ghost Cut, the anthology. The cast, well, there's only really two I've picked. We have Drew Lighty, Leighty, who was Kyle MacLeod, who was in 13 Fanboy, and Vincente DiSanti again, he's obviously his actor as well, who was Jason, who was in 13 Fanboy. Filmed in San Bernardino National Forest in California and Coconino National Forest in Arizona, USA. And apparently the mobile app Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle Game added a chapter including Kyle MacLeod and a Jason Voorhees resembling this movie's Jason, dubbed Ghost Jason. No chevrons on the hockey mask, however. The addition was added on 13th of July 2018. Of course, that was a Friday. So, music at the start is quite nice, quite foreboding. You know, there's a car driving out somewhere. I think it's our hiker. It did turn out to be. It's a lovely scenery. I was curious where. Obviously, at this point, I didn't know. So it's either the San Bernardino National Forest or the Coconino National Forest. I haven't got a clue. Both look beautiful from above. Now it looks like he's recording for his viewers. I don't think he's streaming live, but he might be streaming like recording it or something like that. So he's an extreme hiker. So he's running like a nut. He says, right, we're going to make this in 8 hours. Let's go. And he runs off instead of just walking. There's good rock music in the background. It's quite interesting. It's interesting watching him trying this sponsor video because he kind of like... I suppose this is the same for anyone who has sponsors and stuff. I don't, because I'm not a big channel. And to be honest, what would I sponsor? A game, probably. Yeah. But... It's just like it was. I think it was a spade or something, and he was trying to explain about it. He had to do it like a couple of times. It's quite enjoyable, actually. And then he went off trail. What could possibly go wrong? And then he found the sign for the Camp Crystal Lake. So I want to have a poke around because it's a place that's off limits. So there must be a reason. Let's just go and have a look. Now I would say if you haven't seen the first, second or maybe third of the Friday the 13th films, the originals from the 80s and stuff, you might want to watch those first because there's bits that are in this that are mentioned in those. So without going into I don't want to say what they are in case you've never seen them, but usually if you watch a fan film you've seen the Friday the 13th, not just the first one. Now apparently he says he's the first to visit this place in 30 years. But then I'm kind of curious because he found a copy of Playbook, right, in a box, and it looks intact. There was no dust at all. Of course, he nicked it. You don't just leave it there. He says, "Oh, there's no one here. Somebody must be living here." And I'm thinking, with Playboy, okay, fine. Now there's a fight scene with Jason, right, and of course he's running away because this happens in all 513s. You run away, you spend ages running for about a mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, and Jason just walks, but he still catches up. It's like, why bother running? There's it's only about less than 50 minutes long, because I think there's audio, the credits at the end. But there's the old cha-cha-cha, chi-chi-chi. I can't do it properly, but it's that. And if you ever want to know about that, if you watch, I think it's the first one or the second one, I can't remember. No, I think it's the first one. If you get the one with the director's details on their documentary about how they make it and stuff. And the cha-cha-chi-chi-chi isn't what you think it is. It's something else. It's like, oh, really? Now, there's a bit where he sewed his leg wound. That was good. Complete with chomping down on a book, to stop him yelling. But yeah, it was a good film. I've watched a couple of fan-made films, so it's kind of like, well, let's see how this. One was a bit like over the top. One was good, had sequels on. This was quite good as well. Once he met Jason, it was like a fight for his life. It wasn't like a one-off thing. It was just constant. There was a special guest. Now, I'm not going to say who it is. You might see it on the trailer. I can't remember. But if you've seen other fan-made films, you'll know who it is. If you ever watched Vengeance, I've done the review for Vengeance. Special effects were okay. Had a decent story. I'm giving it a 7. Very good film. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of Never Hike Alone. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of other film reviews, quite a few horrors to say the least, and quite a few fan-made films. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.